We've got with us Enoch Tomose from Charlie Secondary School in the Eastern Cape. Enoch, tell us a bit about your story and firstly, what brought you to TBP?
Okay. Actually, I think it was 2009. I was doing my last year at CPUT, and then I think our lecturer, Mr. Koopman, decided to take us to the TPP here in Bishops. And then I think at the time that I was here, it made me to feel that the information that I was getting at the time, it was valuable, and I could take it to the school which I'm working in and utilize it, and then I could feel, it's a value into the work which I was still doing even now. So I think that made me to think that, what is done here is something which needs, one to follow it.
Yeah. For
instance, I've been getting the messages from here because they send me the information from TPP, via the cell phone, and then I take that information, utilize it even in class, in conjunction with the other work which I have, the textbooks and other resources. And then now, I decided to come back again when I heard that there is going to be again another session, seminar.
So before you were a student at CPUT, and now you've come back as a professional qualified teacher?
Yes.
All right. And tell me what's Charlie's Senior Secondary School like, and your life science classes. What are the resources available to you?
Yes. Actually, I think when you speak about Charlie Senior Secondary School, you are speaking of the school which is situated in a rural area. And number one, the area around it, I think I would say it's a disadvantaged area, I must say so. The learners which you have, they are struggling because, some learners, they do not even have the TVs in front of them. I think the issue of resources starts at home. And then when they come, whatever that you speak to them, it becomes a theory.
Yeah. And
then when you deal with them, for instance, in our school, especially, we do not have the resources also, the school inside. Because, for instance, we do not have even a microscope. When you talk about cell, you cannot give them a chance to see that particular cell which you are talking about. It's all theoretical. And then, because I'm teaching grade 12, I just, in most cases, look at what are the ways that can be utilized so that they pass. Yeah. Then to get this information, outside. Because in a school, you are unable to do these things because there are no resources at all. Yes.
How many learners do you have in your class?
As I've said that I am only teaching grade 12. I've got 3 classes. It's grade 12A, 12B, and 12D. In grade 12A, there are about 90 learners.
In one class?
Yes, 90 learners, and in 12B, there are 95. And then in 12D, there are 63.
Wow.
Yes.
How do you manage with so many learners in one class?
Yes, in class, I think maybe these learners, because they are doing grade 12, they focus and then they do not make noise. They give me a chance to explain. I think only to acknowledge, the ways, which I've got from CPUT as to how to deal or to manage a classroom. They have helped me a lot. Because I deal with those learners, work with them, but I always realize that it cannot be at all effective while they are not, it cannot be effective while they are not, they are in that crowd. So what I do, I make sure that as from January, I just teach them, and then they will write their tests. You'll find that by March they fail, they would fail the test, and then again by June they will fail the exam. Then what I do, I just, when it is around September,
yeah,
I just tell them to stay into their, secondary schools which they were in. Then I visit them to the schools, and then I try to teach them. Then try to go in those small groups now, be able to teach, to touch each and every learner, talk to them seriously about the subject, and make sure that I teach them, in a serious way.
So there's huge dedication from you as a teacher. You try and reach every single individual learner to try and teach them. And I mean, you've had a successful story in the sense of the results that you've produced over the last 3 years. Tell us about those results that you've had at.
Yes, actually, I think when I come in the school, I could ask from the other teachers as to what is the percentage of in our field, which is life sciences. They say that recently, I think it was 2009, they had it was 29%, and then I came by 2010 to be part of the school community, and then I could work. I think at the end of the year we came with around, it was 43% at the end of the year. And then I could notice that there is still a lot to be done, because it was my first year trying to see as to what needs to be done. And then I told myself, no, let me try to meet these learners exactly into their schools, into the feeder schools, the schools, junior secondary schools, which are around our senior secondary school. Then I met them seriously and go into the centers which are around. If ever there are no school in that area, I say that stay here as a group. I will come here even after school at around 5, 6, and then I go home, because I do not have even a car. I just take a walk, and it also takes some kilometers, yes, kilometers to reach the places. But I must say, that made me, for last year, I persisted doing that, and then at the end of the year, I could feel myself, when we were approaching the exams last year, I could feel that these learners are going to pass, I must tell you. And then I think we have come at, in a percent of 85% last year.
Wow.
And I could notice that, I've done it. I think it's not enough at all, because each and every learner there, I'm feeling that he is supposed to pass the subject so that he can be able, or she can be able, to go into universities. Even now, being in touch with the other learners who are, in universities. Say that, because my aim is to see the learner after the matric going into the university and seeing him or her studying there, not just be around.
That's really hugely inspirational. Now, Enoch, just finally, I just want to ask a few questions in terms of, do you recognize the value of having ICT in the classroom, even at Charlie's senior secondary laptop, and do you see the value of could that help you?
It could help me a lot, because number one, as I'm saying, there is a chance to show the pictures which are colorful.